Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of our playthrough of Pokemon Yellow to celebrate its 25th anniversary release in the United States. If you watched the previous episode, you're a real one for waiting while I caught up to where we left off on the original episode 5 of this series. Long story short, I had some computer issues, wiped my operating system, and lost the save files for this run and another challenge in the process. But we're all caught up now. This might be version 2 of the playthrough, but it's essentially the same experience. Also, if you did check out the special episode of me catching up, again, thank you. I've never made a video that long before, and I was curious how it would be received. Not as many views as some of my other videos, but all things considered, it seemed like it was pretty well received. Anyway, back to business. We're heading to Saffron City to take care of some big moments in the storyline. The two major ones are kicking Team Rocket out of Silph Co and beating Sabrina for our next badge. As most of you know, we have to deal with Team Rocket first before we can challenge Sabrina. Once we get to Saffron and heal up, we head to Silph Co. And most of my Gen 1 challenges, I usually skip as many Team Rocket grunts as I can so we can get to our rival in Giovanni quickly. I don't time these runs, but I do like to be efficient. That said, we're doing the complete opposite this time. We're making it a priority to battle every trainer we can find in the building. Why? Well, after our battle with Koga, it became pretty clear that the level our enemies are at have jumped up, and we need to stay ahead if we want this team to stay competitive. This isn't a solo challenge, this is a fun playthrough with a full team. That means I don't just have to worry about leveling up one Pokemon, I've got 5 others to manage. It's going to take time and effort to keep everyone on pace, so we are battling everyone we see. That said, I still don't have this map memorized. We keep running into grunts and scientists we've already beaten, or we end up in loops using the same teleport pads over and over again. Yeah, I know this game is old, and I do love Generation 1, but not enough to memorize every floor plan or where each teleport pad goes. Originally, I planned to fight as many trainers as we could before picking up the card key that opens up all the doors, but after wandering aimlessly around for a while, I decided it was time to grab the key and open up as many rooms as we can so we could get around more easily. Battling here is going alright. I'm not going to give a full recap like I did in the journey from Lavender to Fuchsia, but here's some quick takeaways. 25's defense is still a weak point, but it's getting good experience from all the Zubats and Golbats that we're battling here. The scientists are annoying, especially with their electric types, but I don't know why, the scientists in this game have always annoyed me. Charizard got poisoned early, so it was hard to keep up, giving him experience and utilizing him in battles. When I finally got around to picking up the card key, I didn't have space in my bag, which is classic me. After emptying it and healing up at the Pokemon Center, we got back to clearing out Silph Co. Also, shout out to Nidoking, the dude is a beast. Whenever we're in doubt, we just throw him in and let Thrash handle things. That said, I still hate that he's the only team member without a nickname. I really want to give him one, but nothing's clicking. If you got a good nickname for Nidoking, please drop it in the comments below. I am totally blanking. Now let's talk about the rival battle here. It wasn't exactly a good one. It was easily the worst one we've had in this playthrough. I don't know if it was because I was playing late at night, I wasn't prepared as I thought, underestimated his team's level jump, or we just had some bad luck, but it definitely could have gone cleaner. I messed up right away by leading with 25, expecting Fearow to start the battle on his side. But nope, he opened with Sandslash, which was a terrible matchup. I quickly swapped to Legend, which worked out, especially since Sandslash's first move was Poison Sting. Legend resists it, and then lands a critical hit Razor Leaf which one-shots Sandslash. Pretty sure it would have been a one-shot even without the crit. Next is Ninetales, so we obviously switched to Shades. I was surprised we outspeed it, but we land Surf and it's another critical hit one-shot. We're off to a great start here, but then things fall apart. Cloyster's up next. I figured 25 is a solid pick. Thunderbolt does big damage, and we should be able to wrap it up next turn. The problem? Cloyster gets real lucky. Its clamp locks us and drags out long enough to knock out 25 before we get another move in. Remember what I said about 25's shaky defense? I send out Legend to clean up, but his first Razor Leaf misses and Aurora Beam hits hard. Thankfully the next Razor Leaf lands and finishes Cloyster. Kadabra comes out next, and this is where I make a very risky choice. I send in Nidoking. I know. Terrible matchup. I was too locked into the send Nidoking and spam Thrash groove. Kadabra has bad defense, so I thought we'd outspeed it and crush it. Instead, Psybeam hits first and drops Nidoking to 19 health. We start thrashing, but it's not enough for a one-shot. Kadabra finishes Nidoking off with Confusion. I send out Legend, which is also risky due to the poison typing, but the rival wastes a turn using a potion. That lets Razor Leaf hit, which actually ends up being a critical hit that finishes Kadabra. Last up is Jolteon. Legend's not in great shape, but I figured his grass typing will help with the electric moves. That is, until I remember Jolteon knows Pin Missile, which is super effective against Legend. It's such a weird move for Jolteon, but honestly, I kinda like it. Great surprise option against Psychic types. In desperation, I send out Mew Species to face Jolteon. This whole exchange proves I really don't understand Mew's stats. I thought we'd outspeed Jolteon, but nope. Pin Missile hits 3 times, but barely does any damage. Our Psychic attack isn't doing as much as I expected either. Then Jolteon lands 5 Pin Missile hits in the next round, which removes a large chunk of Mew Species' health. To make things worse, Mega Punch misses. But then the luck swings back our way. The next Pin Missile barrage barely does anything, and Mega Punch finally lands. It's a big chunk of damage, but it's not quite enough for the knockout. Jolteon hangs on. Final turn, Jolteon's Pin Missile misses, and our Pound seals the deal. Okay, yeah, I made some dumb decisions in that battle, we still got the win. Now let's see how we size up against Giovanni. Oh wait, I forgot, we have another battle with Jesse and James before facing their leader. Yes, they healed up after the rival battle and before this one. Weezing is up first, and I decided to stick with having Nidoking fight instead of 25. That works out pretty well since Weezing's Sludge hardly does anything to Nidoking. Of course, we're sticking with Thrash here, even though it doesn't hit super hard. But all Weezing is doing is tackle, so we're leagues ahead when it comes to damage output. We do hurt ourselves in Confusion at one point, but Nidoking is still in the green as we knock Weezing out. Arbok is next, but Thrash is still active, and this time it lands as a critical hit one-shot, so Arbok doesn't even get a chance to move. All that's left is Meowth, so we send 25 back out. This time, 25 gets to deliver the one-shot as Thunderbolt easily ends Meowth and this battle. Okay, now it's time to face Giovanni. He opens the battle with Nidorino, which isn't ideal since I had Legend up front, expecting a Rock Ground type first. So we switch to Mew Species. Giovanni wastes a turn using a Guard Spec, and we easily one-shot Nidorino with Psychic. Next is Persian. I send out 25, and Thunderbolt continues to deliver heavy damage. Giovanni uses another Guard Spec at the worst possible time for him. Persian hangs on after a second Thunderbolt, but all it does is use Screech, so a quick attack from us finishes the job. Then comes Rhyhorn. Naturally, we send Legend back out, and Razor Leaf makes short work of it. All that is left is Nidoqueen, and I decide to make it interesting and send out Nidoking. Thrash gives us an early lead. Again, it's helped by Giovanni wasting another turn using Guard Spec. Nidoqueen kinda keeps up by using Scratch, especially since Nidoking wasn't at full health at the start of this exchange. Eventually, Nidoking gets confused and hurts itself, which is scary considering he's now just down to 4 HP. Luckily, Nidoqueen doesn't capitalize and instead uses Tail Whip twice. On the next turn, Nidoking snaps out Confusion and we land another Thrash, sealing the win. With that, Silph Co is freed from Team Rocket, we got the Master Ball, and now we can face Sabrina. But before that, let's make a quick visit to the other gym in the city, the Fighting Dojo. I usually skip the Fighting Dojo in my challenge runs, but since this is a fun playthrough, paying tribute to all the aspects of the game, we had to stop by. I was having Mew Species do most of the heavy lifting here, but halfway through I remembered Char is part Flying type, and he can learn Fly in this game. Why haven't I slapped the HM on him yet? So we pause, teach Char Fly, and that ends up helping us clear out the rest of the gym. Now, beating this gym doesn't give us a badge, as most of you know, but we do get to choose between Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. When I was a kid, I liked Hitmonchan a lot because of the elemental punches. On paper, it seemed like great type coverage. In practice, not so much, but that's a story for another time. Nowadays, I feel like Hitmonlee is kind of more my style, so I'm going to pick him. Do I want to give him a nickname? Sure, Jackie. Okay, enough fooling around, let's face Sabrina. We don't have a Jolteon with Pin Missile, and Dark types don't exist in this generation. Ghost types are supposed to be our answer to Psychic types, but the moves either don't affect Psychics or they're not super effective. To make matters worse, the only ghosts in Generation 1 are the members of the Ghastly line, and they're all part poison, so they're actually weak to Psychic, and that is definitely not great. So how do we take on Sabrina? Well, by sending out our own big psychic type right out the start. Now, Sabrina's team is a little different in this version. Like most gym leaders in this game, she basically just runs the whole Abra line, each at level 50. So first up is Abra, and it goes down easily with one Mega Punch from U species. Next is Kadabra. It survives our first hit because Sabrina uses an X defend as soon as Kadabra comes out. Kadabra responds with Kinesis, which is a fun little detail since in the original games you usually only saw that move through Metronome. So seeing it actually in Kadabra's moveset here shows the developers actually fixed that issue. Mega Punch already has shaky accuracy, and after Kinesis, yeah, we missed that move twice. Things get serious when Kadabra finally goes on the offensive. Its Psychic takes out over half of Mew species' health, but we get lucky on the next turn though, with Mega Punch landing and knocking Kadabra out. Now it's down to Alakazam. We keep Mew species in, and Alakazam's first move? Recover. At full health. Yep, that's Gen 1 AI for you. Mega Punch hits and takes off almost 2/3 of Alakazam's health. We eat another Psychic in return, but we're still standing with 35 HP. One last Mega Punch, and it's a critical hit, sealing us our 6th gym badge of this game. Well, that went pretty smoothly, aside from that one nasty Psychic from Kadabra. I could end the episode here, but we gotta head to Cinnabar eventually. And that means we've got time for one more detour. That's right, we're ending this episode by going through the Seafoam Islands to catch Articuno. Now, I'm going to be honest, when I do Generation 1 challenge runs, I usually just fly to Pallet Town and surf south to Cinnabar. I hate going through the Seafoam Islands, getting lost in the caves, pushing the boulders, trying to surf across the lakes, all while dealing with constant wild encounters. It's tedious and drags out way longer than it should. Also, I forgot no one on our team had strength, so I give it to Nidoking. Took a while to decide what to replace, but eventually I dropped Double Kick. Not like we've been using that move much lately anyway. Also, I realized that we're still in Saffron and I never picked up the Earthquake team from Silphco. That's pretty much the only solid ground type move Nidoking can learn, so we had to go all the way back and grab that. But hey, he's got a much harder hitting moveset now. Anyway, it probably doesn't surprise you that the footage of me in the Seafoam Islands looks like I'm wandering in circles, because yeah, I had no idea where I was going. But eventually, I stumbled across a little island where Articuno is waiting, and we get annihilated. This segment really highlighted just how weak our team is to ice types. I'm not worried about Lorelei yet, we've still got time to prepare for her, and she's not going to be a thorn in our side, but Articuno definitely is. Half of the team is weak to ice, and the other half, they're just not holding up well either. We give this battle another shot. This time we managed to paralyze Articuno, which makes a huge difference. Mew didn't have a great showing here, but Pikachu put in the work, paralyzing and chipping away Articuno down to low red health. But of course, here's that same problem we had when we were trying to catch Zapdos. Great Balls just keep missing. I even threw an Ultra Ball just to test the waters, but no luck. So we go back to Great Balls and we just keep chucking them. Some turns go our way, Articuno can't attack due to paralysis, but our team's slowly going down while we keep missing. Eventually though, we get a Great Ball to land, and Articuno actually stays in, so we now have officially caught Articuno. That was a lot of work, but hey, now we've got 2 out of the 3 legendary birds. We're going to pause here, and we're going to save our adventure in Cinnabar Island for the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode, or any of the others, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment on this video. Let me know what challenges you'd like to see next, or share your favorite moments from this run so far. Got feedback or suggestions? I'd love to hear it. Your input helps me to improve and make better content for you all. And like I've mentioned in previous videos, I do have a little tip jar through Venmo that's now up and running. It's just that, it's just a tip jar. If you'd like to support the channel, it's there, info's on the screen, but no pressure at all. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody, and until next time, Geronimo.